Hey, good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to I'm going to install and do configuration of the reverse lookup zone because if you come to the command prompt on the Windows machine on the server machine, and if you click on more and run it as an administrator, if you type nslookupmalik.com, which is my domain, it says here the server is unknown, as you see it, right? And if you go to the Windows machine that is giant, before it used to have securityhacker.malik.com, but I removed it because of the purpose of this demo is to how to change this from unknown to your domain name in a two different way. Let me clear this. Type nslookupmalik.com. It says unknown, right? This is the video right after the DHCP installation. This is just a video right after that. That's why I was having securityhacker.malik.com, and if you see here on a Windows, you also see the unknown. So if we change it on the server, the client will automatically have the unknown change to securityhacker.malik.com. That is because the client is the part of the domain. And on the DHCP installation, I forgot to mention that we need to make the we need to make the firewall enabled anywhere. So IPv6 is enabled, enhanced security configuration is turned on, and if you go to the setting, this is just the part that's related to the DHCP. I forgot to mention this. That's why we need to so we need to make that the firewall has to be turned on in order to connect everything with a client and do everything with this. So if you go to the Windows firewall, so the firewall is turned on the server, and if you come to the client machine, the Windows firewall is turned on too, as I'll show it to you right now. So in my all Active Directory demos, all videos, my Windows firewall is set to turn on. I don't want to make it turn off, and make the IPv4 and IPv6 enabled too on both server and client. So let's come back to the reverse lookup zone. So this is my server, this is my Windows machine, and the server shows unknown. Let me go back to the server, and on the server we need to change this, right? So before we change it, let me go type ipconfig/all. We will do it according to the IPv6. So this is my IPv6 address, which is end with a 45C5, right? So let me go back with this and go to the tools and click on DNS. It's loading. Let me do one thing. So in a DNS, you need to expand security hacker, the host name of the server or the server name, and click on the reverse lookup zone. Let me remove this because this is the one I previously created. So if you click on the reverse lookup zone and then right click on new zone, and in new zone you need to click next, primary zone next, everything on default to all DNS server running next, and we'll choose IPv4 here next. And here I need to type this IPv6 because we need to configure this from the IPv6. Let's say up to D900. I'm not sure which what you will have on your IPv6, but mine is up to D900, right? And go back there and paste it here and do another colon /64. As you see, we got reverse of this, and click on next. Allow only secure dynamic updates, next, and finish. As you see, I got the reverse lookup zone. If you click on this, now we need to change the server from unknown to something, to our domain name. Either you want to make it domain name or the domain name plus security hacker, the host name. So in order to do this, you need to click on right click, new pointer, and make it browse security forward lookup zone and malik.com, which is the domain. And in here, what you need is to keep check everything. So if I click on this, it shows malik.com, right? So let's check. So this one is working. Why? Because here our IPv6 is in with a 45C5, right? So if we make this okay, and if you go back to basically to in here, so malik.com is here, malik.com, and this is 45C5. If you come to the command prompt and type nslookup one more time, you see it has been changed, malik.com. Let me change it from something else. So again, you need to delete this. No, I don't want to delete. I want to test it on Windows too. So on Windows, I got malik.com as well. So let me go back to the server and delete this. And again, you need to click on new pointer, browse security forward lookup zone, malik.com, and then scroll it down and click here. It is a hacker.malik.com. This will not work. Why? Let me show it to you right now. So it is C7FD. It is not our IPv6 address. I think this is the Windows IPv6, but let me show it to you. It show up because the window is a part of the domain, but it will not work. Our only name are working that end with a 45C5 because that is our server IPv6 address. We need to just look for this, the last IP, because if we come here and check here, our server IPv6 is in with 45C5, right? So you need to look for this one. Before, when I change it to malik.com, I had the 45C5. If you click on OK, if you come here, it will show unknown. You see, it shows unknown because we didn't choose the right IPv6. And if you go to the Windows machine and click here, it shows unknown as well. So let me go back to the server, and on the server, let me delete this. I just want to emphasize this: to not choose the wrong one. It will not show, or it will still display the unknown. You need to choose the right IPv6 address of the server, which is in with 45C5, right? And go scroll it down and let me test this. This is securityhacker.malik.com. Hit OK. This will works because it's in with a 45C5, right? And click OK. And now if you come back to the command prompt and type in nslookup.malik.com, you see the securityhacker.malik.com has been added. And if you go to the Windows, and on the Windows, if you type again nslookup.malik.com, it shows the securityhacker.malik.com has been added back on the Windows too. Like if you change it on the server, and all the machines, all the Windows machine that's connected to the server unknown will change to something you change it on the server. And one last thing before I stop this. So if you let me delete this, because it's end with a 45C5. It is working, right? So if you go back there, no pointer, there is one thing missing. I'll test that one too. This is the last one. This one. It is just this name, but I'm sure it will not work. It is working. It is working because it is right IPv6, but this name doesn't make sense, right? This name doesn't make sense, but IPv6 is still correct. Let me show. As you see, it has been changed. I said it is working because the IPv6 was the correct. It shows 45C5, but the server name is nonsense. It doesn't make sense because it is messy. And if you check it on Windows client machine, you are able to see it here too. Like anything you change it on the server, you'll be able to see it on the client machine because it is a part of the domain. So let me change it back to the securityhacker.malik.com because as I showed, it is end with 45C5, and on the command prompt our server IPv6 is end with 45C5 right here. So let me delete this. Click on new pointer, browse security hacker for lookupzones.malik.com and come here, securityhacker.malik.com. You can always keep checking here. So it is since end with our IP. This is our IPv6, which is end with 45C5 of the server, not the Windows one, not any other. This is pretty much working. I got it. As you see it here, 45C5. And if you go back to the Windows, it has been changed to securityhacker.malik.com. And if you come to the Windows machine and check there again one more time, securityhacker.malik.com is working. And if you ping with 192.168.18.241 is the IP address of the server, right? It is pinging. Ping with malik.com. I'm able to ping with this. Like even though the firewall both on server and Windows are still turned on. Ping with -6 and type the server IPv6. Oh, sorry, this. And with ping security hacker with a server name. So the Windows is pinging with domain with IP address and with the IPv6 and with the name and nslookup.malik.com. As you see the server name here, and on the server, if you do the ping hacker, which is the host name of the client machine, and this is the IPv6 of the what it's called Windows or client machine. Ping -6. Let me ping by IPv6. As you see, I'm still able to ping. And if you ping by IP address that has been assigned from the DHCP recently to our client machine, 92168.18, which is end with 12, because I used to have the IP address of the client machine before DHCP end with a 236 after we installed the DHCP and DHCP scope on the server. The client receive a new IP address which is end with 12. So let me ping with that. I'm successfully pinged on that as well. So that's all for today. I just mixed up the DHCP and DHCP scope in this demo That's because I forgot to mention the firewall and show the ping connectivity, and also I show how to create reverse lookup zone to change the server name from unknown to your domain name, and or domain plus your host name. For example, securityhacker.malik.com and also malik.com, just malik.com, in a two-way. So that's all for today. Thank you for being with me. I hope you learned and enjoyed, and we'll see you in next demo. Thank you and have a great day.